Hi everybody, today we are going to start our new unit, Sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, if you look at the middle of my screen here, you will see the continent of Africa, which is the second largest landmass, okay, in the world. People often refer to Africa in two parts, the northern, up here, and the Sub-Saharan Africa, which is the green part of Africa. Okay, it's called this because it's the south of the Saharan desert. This up here is all the Saharan desert, and you'll see this in the next slides. So it's called Sub-Saharan Africa because it's the southern part. Okay. Now, on this page, so if you see the picture to the left, you can see that the Sahara Desert, it takes up the majority of the northern part of Africa. And if you look on the picture to the right, you can see that in the green, where it starts the Sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, and the difference, the divide, the two different parts of Africa. Okay, the Sahara Desert is the largest desert in the world. It spans 3.5 million square miles. As we go through this unit, we will be talking about Sub-Saharan Africa, as you can see in this picture to the right, the green part. We will first be talking about the geography. Then we will go into ancient empires and wrap up the unit with modern day cultures and countries of Sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, back to this first picture. Looking at the geography of the Sub-Saharan Africa, okay, if we look to our right, these pictures, you are going to see different geographic features. And that is because the Sub-Saharan Africa is huge and there are a lot of different climates and features. So if you take a look at these pictures, you'll notice that they may look a little different in each one, but it's because there's so much land in Africa that there's different climates and different features. Okay, where is Africa and what do we already know? All right, so if you look at this picture, you can see where the continent Africa is located, right about here. So this was on Google Maps and I just typed it in. So all these blue location spots, right? This green is where the Sub-Saharan Africa is. So I just did that so you can see a picture about where it is in the continent of Africa. Okay, this year we have been working with surrounding places in the Middle East, such as Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, which is right about here. If we see the Iraq point on the map. Remember that Mesopotamia and this area of the Middle East was known as the cradle of civilization because it is believed to have had the first civilizations to develop. So we've been working all year with the Mediterranean Sea, which is right here. We've been all around it, okay? As we start this unit, we're going to go back to remember our first unit of early humans. Africa is important for many reasons, but let's remember that Africa is home to our earliest ancestors of modern humans. It is where the modern humans first became bipedal. In eastern Tanzania, where Tanzania is right about here on the map, if you see my cursor, you can just see the Zania because the first part of the word is blocked, but you can still see the Tanzanians right here in Sub-Saharan Africa on the eastern side. Okay, in eastern Tanzania, a country in Sub-Saharan Africa is known for being the home of the oldest stone tools ever to be discovered and used by Homo habilis and Homo erectus. We have to remember that this area in Sub-Saharan Africa is where we found our earliest human ancestors. Okay, on top of Africa being home to our ancestors, Africa is also home to one of the most long-lasting ancient civilizations which we studied. I'll give you a second to think about, what's it home to? Egypt. There it is, right here. Do we see that? It's in the northern part of Africa. And what else should we notice? It's not in Sub-Saharan Africa, right? Then it's the Sahara Desert. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next one. Okay. Ancient Egypt civilization, Northern Africa. All right. Do you see where ancient Egypt is? We know that the climate of Egypt was tough because it was surrounded by desert. However, it did have the Great Nile River that gave birth to this civilization. Okay, so we have to remember about the Nile River. First, we're going to take a look at a map of the world and the continent of Africa. Okay, so map of the world, the continent of Africa right here. Okay, it is closest in proximity to the continents of Asia and Europe. Okay, you will notice that we have been around the Mediterranean Sea, right? Mediterranean Sea right in between right here all year, right? Africa is south of the Mediterranean Sea. That means it's below the Mediterranean Sea. You should also realize that the climate varies depending on the region in Sub-Saharan Africa. So even though Africa is the second largest continent on Earth, it also has 20% of the world's total landmass. Okay, so it's huge, right? It takes up 20% of the world's total landmass. In 2010, the population had over 1 billion people that spread across several territories. Okay, so they started to spread out. Africa spreads 5,000 miles from the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, do we see this line, the Tropic of Cancer, to the Tropic of Capricorn? So between those two lines, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, if we see those two lines right there, Africa spreads 5,000 miles between these two lines. Okay, what else do we notice? We notice that the majority of between these two lines of latitude is Sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, so from this top line to this bottom line. We also see this black line going through the middle. That's the equator. Okay. Because of this, Africa has unique geographic features and climates. Okay, it has the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and the equator. All right, landscapes range from tropical forests that you see here in the red, tropical forests, okay, and savannas, and even snow-capped mountains. Africa's geography is really diverse, and that is what we are going to look into now. Okay, so your task for today, you're going to go through the Quizlet that introduces the vocab for Sub-Saharan Africa. And you're also going to answer 3 questions, okay? Both of these assignments are found on Tuesday, May 26th tab, okay? So if you go to your Google Classroom and you scroll down to Tuesday, May 26th, you'll see your vocab for Sub-Saharan Africa, and you'll see answering the 3 questions. Now, you can answer these 3 questions on a piece of paper and take a picture and submit it. You can type them on Google Docs and submit the Google Docs. If you have a printer, you can print out the questions, okay? Or you can just type them in the private comments, but you need to make sure that you are turning the question around and that they're complete sentences for full credit. So if you give me 1 word or a couple words for an answer, it's not going to count, and you're going to have to redo it. Okay, so make sure that you're using complete sentences and you're turning the question around. All right? Let's see here. All right, have a great day, everybody.